Hello out there, James Thomas here. I have a top discussion I like to talk about tonight. Um, One of the discussion is the size and having so many sex partners and how costly that it is. A lot of people in in today's world, despite of all the different diseases and things that they can find in the blood of people, they can detect things that can go back generations after generations. Sex is once you get past the part of the lustful part of it, you can lust after a person and have so many sex partners after a certain period of time. It can you can you all of a sudden you bind yourself with people's problems. You not only that you bind with people's problems physically, liquidly, but also you would inherit their problems too if you decide if out of wedlock a relationship produces a child and that child has some of what they call the curses on their life. And what I mean by the curses on their life is that they can have a lot of personal problems, and you'll see certain traits, behavioral problems, and things such as that out of the union. And really, they will have a kind of a complicated life when you have a person who have that their parent was involved with in a sexual relationship with someone outside of marriage, and a mom or their dad, was with many different sexual partners. Also, you'll also at nighttime or sometime during your life, if it's no if you don't get deliverance out of the problem, you'll pick up different people's habits. You'll pick up their habits. You'll have that you might do things or have a taste for things that you would normally never have because of having a connection with this person. One of the things that I before I came to the knowing about the Lord is that it was before that I didn't know the consequences like most people do. And when you have so many, been with a lot of women and stuff like that, it may sound cool at first, but in the end, it's the consequences that come behind it because it can affect you psychologically and physically down the road. And to the point that when you do find somebody, you might really can't really physically, emotionally, and spiritually please them because you are giving yourself up to a lot of people. A lot of people don't really understand that when they having so many partners out there, and there's people who continue to do this, and people who have sexual relationships outside of marriage that have affairs. 9 chances out of 10, the person that they have an affair with out of that marriage is not going to last either because somewhere along the line they're going to find out that it wasn't based out of true love, but it was based out of lust for somebody, for another person. Then thinking that their life with this person would have been a lot better, and really that it really wasn't. Well, that's one of the things that I've learned when it comes to different partners out there. And a lot of things that in the medical community that they can detect through the blood too. And that when you have sexual relationships with different people, and it might be something that could have been a disease that maybe it wasn't in your family. It could be a venereal disease or any other kind of symptoms, or just by the blood, by a speck of the blood that they can, when they run blood tests over in at the clinic or the hospital, they're looking for all these different symptoms. So it's another word to be careful on who you match up with, because you're exchanging fluids. Of course, just exchanging saliva and things, and sweat, saliva, and all. But also, but when the actual intercourse into the sexual part of it, in the sperm, if you go without a condom and you ejaculate, the blood is in the sperm that also gets into the woman, that gets inside the woman, and it could take up some other different bacteria problems and everything like that. This is what I have learned, being around from my proportion of time in life, that when you have so many different partners, it can come back and it can affect you in so many different ways. So it's good to find one person and stick with that person, and there's a reason why. And it gives a whole different meaning of even being married. Wait until, you know, when you go to church, they always improvise, or just in a moral relationship, a good morality relationships. When your parents told you, wait till you get married, then you'll be able to be mature enough and logical enough to have sex, and hopefully you'll have with someone who can love you and you emotionally, physically, spiritually invest your time in. But a lot of people don't think about that. Young people, men and women, don't think about things like that because we're so caught up in our lust and what we see is, and it's just something I think it's just goes along with the sin of the world that we have this mindset that we lay down with different people, and it's a learned behavior and brought up by society, and it's almost like you want more and more and more and more and more, because the flesh is never satisfied, and that is true. The flesh is not satisfied, and then that kind of hurts you down the road in the end. And this is what I've learned along the way: when you go on and have people that have many different partners out there, and so it's good to keep one partner and just stick with one partner. And it's a safety reason too, and a lot of people don't think about that. And so either you could be of a heterosexual relationship, and even into the homosexual community, there there's soul ties there physically, and that's just the one part of the soul tie, sex through sex, and it's like it goes to a whole different meaning. Matches up with spirit to spirit, and blood to blood, and flesh to flesh, in so many different ways. And so when people tell you it's good to wait till you get married to have sex, it's a good reason why you should wait to get married to have sex, because you can get some kind of disease, and then you get with the person that you having sex with. I mean, it's and like most people, like myself, I've experienced this in the past, that you get with somebody who it was just a physical thing, but later on you see more than what you expected out of a person. You got more than the physical part of it, the emotional part of it, the psychological part of it, and the spiritual part. Then all of a sudden, it's almost like a fantasy. But sooner or later, it turns into reality, because this person is they're not going to stay the same person, because their true nature will come out after the sexual part of it. So it's good. That's one reason. And it's psychologically, it can weigh on you, no matter if you're a man or you're a woman. In some physical way, it's going to weigh on you psychologically. And it could, to some people who do it, I think it's a self-esteem issue to feel like you have to go out and please so many different partners. And really, in the end, psychologically, it's kind of dumb, because what you might think that some people who think like this might think that is okay, but when it comes down to meeting that potential person that's going to be your future spouse or future significant one, that might come across their mind as well. Is you going to go out there and cheat, or are you faithful in what you do because you have so many different partners? And can you be faithful in what you do? And so that comes across the person's mind when they get into a relationship, no matter how physically, mentally, emotionally attractive that a person can be to somebody. They could be the best looking man or woman on the planet, but if they don't have they have a commitment issue, they can easily be swayed and go in a whole different direction. And that's how I feel. That's what I've observed about it. I know this is not a popular topic to talk about, but it's just one of the things that I'm not a very popular YouTuber or anything, but that's just something I would enlighten some people. Anybody choose to listen and take heed to this message. And it's the spiritual aspect of soul tithing. And now this is the good part. Once you settle down and you give your life, those who want to give their life to Christ, once you come to the point you accept Jesus, once you get saved, once you get married, once you get filled with the Spirit, get saved, baptized in water, and things like that. There's another point about it that a lot of people who are in Christ forget to tell you. You got to go through the deliverance part. You have to be cleansed, and the deliverance ain't no fun when it comes to getting cleansed out, because what you're being cleansed of, all the people that person has been connected to. You have been connected. There's been so much a connection with people with soul tie. They lie down with so many different partners, and when you lie down with so many different partners, you got so many different problems. And I talked with a young woman once, and this came true. She was somebody I met online, and we having a caring conversation. She never desired to smoke before. She never desired. That was her last. All she liked to do was drink. But sometimes she would get these cravings of smoking, and she couldn't figure out what it was. Why is she got this craving of smoking? Is because really it was because one of the past partners that she had with and shared with spoke. So she picked up a habit of smoking. And I was like, wow, that's pretty deep. And this is how deep this thing is. And that's why when you're in the process of going through something like this, getting deliverance, what they call getting deliverance. And anybody in the Christian world kind of understand what I'm talking about. It's like, man, it's like when you get deliverance of being connected with all these different partners, whatever, you spiritually, you break it off. And it's literally a spiritual fight all way through because you're physically going through a workout and you're coughing, your body is you're passing gas and you going through these different phases. Your body's going through these different phases just to break that soul tie, impossible those soul ties with the person that you was with that was out of a wedlock situation. And it really give the whole meaning why it, they advise you to wait till you have a wife. Is rather to have a wife than be if you can't wait but wait till you get married to have sex. And as a younger man, I couldn't really understand that because, like, man, it seemed like it's gonna be kind of impossible. The hold back that lust and everything, and therefore, like most young men, you went out there and experiment and try with different women, and after a while, coming to the further knowledge of it, you see that there's a paradigm, is a bigger picture to this. You see that it costly can cost you as your body get older. One time I almost had an incident where having one too many partners almost got caught hurt. I was about this close to catching full blown a disease through the blood, but it was a miracle because as it was running through the blood cycle, that disease was never there no more. And this is not having, and this is the truth. This is what happened to me, and I was kind of shocked because when you first hear something like that and experiencing something like that, like many, whether you're a man or woman, you hear something come along like that the doctor sees something in your blood, you get very nervous about what could it be. And so it was something that was detected because of somebody that just made one mistake, fell into my flesh, acted on my flesh, and went out and go and mess with this woman, and not knowing that this woman wasn't too cleansy or clean. And and it almost cost me. But luckily, later on, when through a lot of blood work and through a lot of, they checked my blood 2 or 3 pints, 3 or 4 times. It was nothing there. Years later, there was nothing there. But and even as I, got more blood out of my body, thank God, no, that nothing like that ever crept up. But this is the cost but it could have been costly. That's basically what I'm saying is that it could have been very costly to lay down with somebody and you end up with something that you connected with this person through some kind of venereal disease for the rest of your life. That's why it's not worth it. Just by detected by the blood. And luckily, by the grace of God, by the blessing of God, I come up out of it. That there was nothing in the blood, but you have to be careful whether you're a man or woman out there, you having so many partners out there, and who you get with. It's good to find one person and stay with them, and that should be it alone right there. And then that's the physical part. Then you got the emotional part of the soul tie with a person. You establish some type of relationship, and it was built out of a sexual relationship. But there's other aspects of the relationship you're not really hitting off with each other with. You don't find you don't have nothing in common. You don't have no conversation, and all this is just sex, and you go home, and that's what the world we live in right now, and that you really don't have nothing in common. You don't have other things that you have in common, and so that can be a drag because either way, whether it's a man or the woman, you're using that person, and you're not really. It's more than it was. Sex was more designed than what it was supposed to be, and it's the physical part of it, and so that's what I've learned from basically, having soul ties with that is very, very important. Who you connect with and stick with. And it's true, it's sometimes good to just stay single if you can until you find that significant somebody that you can trust and that you have a good relationship, that you know that they wise from their mistakes and learn from that. They don't want to fall into the same trap, and they faithful. And I believe that there's men and women are faithful out there in regards to sex, in regards to what the media says, regards to what the world is. You just have to take your time and find the right person, because sex is more than what you can even imagine when you have a sexual intimacy with a person. And this is what I've learned over time and over years. That it's good to wait. That everything that looks good, it ain't good for you. It, everything that looks good, it definitely is not good, because you don't. Because I have seen very attractive women out there, but when you get down and sit down and talk to some very attractive women, you find out something mentally screwed up wrong with them. And you like, man, you might say, man, it's an attractive woman. She has the right look. She might have the right style. She might have the right this, but something could be something off. And so that's why looks ain't always what it seemed to be. And it's the truth. And a lot of people, and it could be other flaws. I mean, every person has flaws, but it be some serious flaws with this person. They're just good for one thing. Just be good to just have an arm piece around. But as a person that spent time and quality time with this person might not be worth nothing to deal with. So and so you don't want to soul ties with the person like that. That person that is just they're not worth it. And if they just want to use you and manipulate you, and then they gone. And but then because there's a couple times I have been intimate with somebody to the point that I could have fallen in love with them, but they was not ready to fall in love with me. And I mean, it's really sad, but it's true. There's a lot of people are like that out there, that they're not ready to be maturely ready for a relationship. You have a lot of grown men and grown women are like that. That they're not ready and I think it takes for a person to be mature, they have to get spiritually mature. To understand if something would come up, whatever crisis is, as far as if you end up laying down with somebody and you getting them pregnant, whatever, at least you would know that they're maturely they're ready to take it to the next step. And so that's another reason why whoever you soul tie with is very, very important. And who you lay down with is very, very important. And so this was a topic I wanted to really talk about. And I know I don't have no listeners, but hopefully after this session is over, it might give some people something to think about if they pop and hear the screen. Just get something to think about. That is important to settle down. It's important to find one person to be connected with and just hang on there with, because a lot of people don't think like that these days. They want to how can I say this? They just want to just keep playing the field. They want to keep playing the field. They want to keep doing what they do, but it is the consequences that's coming, and it could cost you. It can literally cost you your life if you just who you so tied with, even who you associate, who you be around with, who you hang out with, can cost you your life. It really can. Um, you know how the world and even the world have a concept of people, they call energy. They call it energy. Some people say, I can feel your energy. I can feel, or you can feel bad energy, good energy. I'm just giving it from a worldly prospect. Well, they have a conception of truth because of what people around bring something around in their environment too. And you could be that's another way you so tied with somebody. So you have to really watch out who you associate with too, as far as who you connect with, and you can just be bonding with somebody, and they can bring in bring bad things to your atmosphere, bring bad things to. It's just crazy, but this stuff is true. You can feel depressed, you can feel down, and you don't even know why you can feel angry. You don't know why you feeling these things. You don't understand why you're feeling angry and feeling down. But just by a certain person's persona, or or you ever been around somebody that has a dominating spirit, that controlling spirit, and then it's almost like it could be very intimidating, and it can be a intimidating spirit to the point you don't like it. That you could be soul tied with something like that. That's another form of a soul tie. That is outside, of course, is outside of sex, but it's a soul tie too. And so, I mean, this what I'm telling you connects from the natural to the spiritual realm, and it's very true. Whoever you commit yourself to, whoever you lie down with, that's who you connect with. Whoever you lie down in the bedroom at night with, that's who you connect with. And you just it goes deep. It goes really go deep because I never figured that out from my own experiences until I experienced it on my own. And when you have a person that you're not really have an overall attraction to, and you get drawn to that person, and that person not feeling you, and then it's all something cause you to disconnect. But even though you can disconnect with somebody and not be in their presence, you can still be aware that where they're at in their presence and everything. And but that's one of the things that was topics I want to talk about the sexual ties and who you hang out with. That's also a tie in itself. And this is something I came into later on to learn about in life, and it comes to find out it's true. And when you get to the point when you get to seeing that this is so true, it is very shocking on how sexual ties and soul ties can be. Um, but that's that's one of the things that I learned, and just having a lot of sex partners ain't good. They just want to let you know it's good to have one person in your life and find that one person in your life. I mean, I can see many, even though there's many beautiful, attractive women over out there across the world over in your lifetime. But if you but if you add it all up, I'd rather have that one woman that's gonna stand by me through the thick and thin. We're gonna have a mutual attraction, and that's the person I wanted to connect with, to be on a deeper level. If you're gonna soul tied with somebody to have a connection to you, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and everywhere else, that's worth investing to. When you're young, you don't really see things like that. Most young people don't until you get to a certain age, until you get to your maybe your mid late 30s, maybe 40s, maybe even closer. Some people even then they get up to their 50s. When it's halfway, it's too late. But you just find somebody that can connect with somebody, because it does has a role physically, as far as when you have children with somebody, what the outcome of the child gonna be like, and that's your seed. So this innocent person that came out of union of lust, if a child's out of lust, it's a possibility he or she can have some future issues down the road. Not only that, they carry the generation when they get older, they pick up the same pattern as their parents have. They out there mess around with different partners and try and experiment with different things because of, as they say, the sins of their father or their mother. And some people do it. It ends up that way sometimes. So it just knows this. There's nothing, no stability. Then children can pick that up when they get to be an adult age, and this is true. And it's, I don't know. This sounds kind of preachy. It's not a popular subject, but it's something that it tells you what I'm saying tonight tells you why a lot of relationships don't last. Why there's a lot of divorces. Why that there's some people about ready to get a divorce because they're not tied with the right person. And it could be soul ties that they have with other people. And that was never the person that was meant to be with you was supposed to be with you. But even though God allowed the union to happen, is because that person made that choice on who they wanted them as their future wife or their future husband. And this is the truth. So whenever you have somebody, have somebody's going to be a future mate. Have someone's going to stand by you through thick and thin. When not just in sex times, but in all times. Someone can be everything is in one, and you could be everything to them. They could be everything to you, to the point that they don't have to go out there and go looking for something to try to fulfill something to try to fulfill that part of them, because that's just a lustful part of who they are. And so that's one of the things that I want to bring to the table tonight. And I know I ain't got no listeners and nobody to follow to get. I don't have too many followers. On me, maybe because my subjects are weak. But I if it don't, it may not be popular to a lot of this subject matter may not be popular. But someone out there is gonna hear me by my spirit. Someone out there is gonna hear me and understand or have been through this self that can say, hey, this person's telling the truth. Because it take life is this experience just in itself and alone. It's something that you have to experience. And in the world don't seem most people don't seem to understand it, but they keep going through a cycle which they don't even understand why they're going through the cycle or why they can't stay in a relationship with their girlfriend who's want to be their wife or the boyfriend and the husband, so vice versa. It's because that could be one of the issues. That person had too many soul ties and they never got rid of their soul ties. And so when you meet somebody, you can be physically attracted, which is a natural attraction to somebody. But it's the long run you have to see where this person's coming from. Because once you decide to make this person your significant one, the future spouse, you're going to have to live with this person. You connected with this person for the rest of your life. And you giving your life over to this person when they take on your name and things like that. And this all ties into the to the soul tie, because you are coming together as one when you get into a relationship that leads to marriage. You're really bonding together in so many ways in one. And so when that relationship is broken up, it's painful because this person has invested all this time and all their energy into each other. And I'm just talking away. I know I ain't gonna have too many views on this. Not too many fans, but hey, I'm doing this because I like doing this. I have the reason what brought me to streaming night because I just want to give someone advice that maybe that will take heed to what I'm saying. If it passed 100 years and 100 years, it's like some people ain't ready. But if one person can hear this message after the stream is over, and they can take heed to what I'm saying, and God has shown them that what I'm telling them is right. That's all what matters. And that's one thing I learned about YouTube. Because I know I'm not one of the people out there just talking a bunch of garbage and put down somebody else. And I just tell things that's just basically is mediocre. It's not so much about the views; it's the message that it gets across. That there's a group of because every message ain't meant for every people, but only the people that's ready for the message. And I hope that people hear this message, the ones that take heed to what I'm saying about soul ties, that they take the message, what I'm saying as far as connecting with somebody, and just go from there. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. Just but it's the truth. You can't display it. You can't deny it because somewhere along the line, no matter how young or how old you are, tell us, dislike all my uh uh no, I don't. Unfortunately, I don't watch porn. No, no. And that's a whole. That's another subtopic in itself. Um, I used to years ago watch porn, but I find out it's just that there's really no satisfaction into it. I know it's not a popular thing to say because it's like it's satisfying the the fleshly part, but what I found out about porn, it takes you to a whole different mind, different self, different level because you create a fantasy, but what you create is one thing, but to put it into reality is not so well, and so that's why I never really got up into porn. Um, I see what the outcome of it is. I see people they get so addicted, and once you get addicted to it, you want more. It comes a spirit in itself because it goes from just something really innocent, looking at people having sex to going to other things, and that's what it leads to. It can lead off in a whole different direction. So that's why, and that can also be part of what they call a spirit of lust, which is part of that. Could be part out of the soul tie too, because you get with somebody that's experimenting with everything and everyone, um, that can lead you in a whole different direction. So I can't do the porn. I can't. No, I know the history about that. The spirit is this the physical part of it, then it's the manifestation part of it. In fact, I'm gonna give you a short story here. Um, a friend of mine who her grandson was watching porn with his girlfriend. So what happened was it was entertaining movies, watching something. This truly did happen. So what happened was something was released in their atmosphere to the point that we was just talking about this a few days ago. That what he was entertaining on the porn, it came through the TV. The spirit of it came through the TV just by watching certain movies. Can There's a scripture you have to protect your eye gate as far as your ear gate, and this is the truth. So after they watched this porn, there was a spirit of an old man, an old man that was demonic, that was in the atmosphere of the house, and her grandson was scared to death because his girlfriend had got levitated off the bed, and it was all kind of strange activities just by something that was released in the atmosphere of their home. So you have to be very. So when it comes to something like pornographic or some other something that want to get you in the mood or something like that, it can take you in a whole different direction. It can it can take you to a whole different direction. Porno is very it can be very costly. If you, especially if you married, you bring porno, it can cost you your marriage. Um, Porno, a lot of your serial killers went out there that molested and killed children was watching porno. This is the truth. This thing can lead to that. It can lead to bestiality. It can lead to, even if you the kind of man that say I wouldn't sleep with another man, but the lust, the spirit of lust can do that. That can have you maybe sleeping with things that you would never do because you it's like a drug. Once you do something, you're gonna want more and more and more, and the spirit of will lead you more and more, more and more and more. So therefore, you so tied, and it comes back again. You so tied with the spirit. You so tied with, and the spirit is connected to you. This spirit's connected. So this spirit got you doing things that you ain't never would ever think about even doing, just by simply watching a film, simply by engaging with somebody who's not your spouse, who's not someone who's your significant other. And I know this ain't a popular topic, but it's the truth. And this what it can lead down is, I know people this happened personally. I knew a young man that this happened personally. It sounded like he was just like one of the guys, but he got so to the point watching so much porno film, it started leading him doing some perversion. She go on to say, hey, how you doing? Yeah, that's what I. Yeah, I was just sitting here giving my story about soul ties and with sexual, what it means and everything, what it leads to. And not a very popular topic, and just the lessons and everything. That's what I'm basically explaining on here. And somebody was just came on earlier saying, "Do you watch porn?" I said, "No, not really, because pornographic, it leads to it can bring up something that can take you in a whole different direction, and it might start off something innocent, and there's certain things that in pornographic that really it was not really for us designed to do to a woman, and that's what I came to understand. And that's what happens when people anticipating pornographic and try to put that among in a relationship. Sometimes it can take them in a whole different direction, and it could in which it was never meant to go in that direction. So that's what I was. This person that I was saying that they must didn't like it, so they got off. They got off, but it was just something that I was basically telling the truth. That basically, if you watch pornographic movies, whatever, you're gonna it's gonna lead into in a really bad direction in your life. It can ruin. There's people that have lost their marriages and lost their relationships with somebody, and then it's the trust factor there, because it's like there's somebody want to bring somebody else into a relationship, and then it's gonna lead it. in the more, and it just leads from one way to another. And so, and that leads into a whole different level of the topic of soul tie. And now you brought other things into it. Not only that you brought the physical person into it, you brought another person who has a spirit of it, and they bringing that into the relationship, and it's making the relationships more tense and everything. And so that's what I've learned from Soul Tide. And so so that's what I was basically talking about. See, it's not getting popular, but I'm just gonna keep on talking. and so and so that's why I, I believe just in one person having a wife and that's it. Basically, one day having a girlfriend, soon to be wife, and just as man, it's not easy, and it's too much complication just to deal with one other person. And when you're a man or you're a woman and you're dealing with multiple people and you're dating multiple people, you're dating multiple different persons with different personalities. And it's just it takes a lot of hard work. It takes a lot of physically, mentally, emotionally, a lot of time. It takes a lot of a person to be intimate with somebody on a level is going in that direction that you talking with this person, talking with this woman and this woman as a man, and it's crazy. I don't think it's worth. I just think it's just worth having one person, just having one partner. That's it. And there's a moral factor and it's a spiritual factor to it because you and it's a costly factor to it too. And for men who have a lot of partners, like a woman who have a lot of partners, when you finally get that person that you fall in love with and you tell them of your past, it's there might be a time that they want to know, did you have you really truly repent? Number one, do you regret? Number two, but if you up there boosting and bragging, that might send a message to that person that you're not mature enough to be in a relationship with somebody because you haven't really truly repent, and that it might give that person to think that if the opportunity was that they was in a relationship with you, that you would go out and cheat on them, and therefore that person don't trust nobody, and therefore they can't give their all to you, give their trust and everything else along in their body and along the other things in their heart and their body and everything else to you. Because what man or woman want to give trust to somebody that don't have the maturity to understand that this is more to the factor. And a lot of men and a lot like as well as some women, they might not mature in that way. And the only way that they can get to maturity is that they have to be by themselves. And sometimes it takes a spiritual journey. And I think, and literally, a lot of people, I know there's a lot of people out there that don't believe in God or whatever their belief system is, but life has to show you, life literally has to show you where you have come fall and where you have come short at in life. And so it's just good just to have somebody, to have one person in your life. You don't need three or four, five, six different, if you're a man, women, because you're gonna have some problems. You're gonna have some problems. As one woman is enough. One woman is enough. You don't need it. It could be 100 attractive women out there, but if you look on the physical part, it looks good, but on the spiritual part, it don't look good because something's deep beyond the physical body or the physical appearance of a person. I've learned this along the way. Just because somebody look good, it mean that they're not good up here. They're not good psychologically. They don't know how to handle pressures in life. They don't know how to handle crisis in life. So So when you get with somebody, that's something to think about. And then if you make a relationship with somebody, do you want to tie yourself down with somebody like that? Do you want to tie yourself down with someone that can't handle a relationship with somebody? I mean, it makes you kind of wonder. So um, that, that's what I've learned along the way, and it's just it's a topic that just be interesting to share with YouTube land and anybody that come across this video, to really give them something to think about when they having a relationship with somebody, or about to get into a relationship with somebody, or looking for a relationship. Think about who you're going to think about who you're going to be with, because who you spend the rest of your life with determines how happy you're going to be. And you want to be with somebody that's going to make you happy. You don't want to be with somebody that's going to make you miserable, make you sad, and drag you down mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And that's what I learned. So I hope that someone likes this stream. And if they don't like it, that's fine. It's not. I'll definitely have some interesting topics down the line. But this just come on the top across my head to bring this attention to tonight, was basically talk about soul tithing, just from my experiences, not just from a book or just from someone else's TV show or whatever. It's just from my personal experience, and why this can also prevent you from not being married or being committed into a relationship, because of not being committed, because simply because of soul tie. But I'm about to get off here another 10 minutes. But I just thought I'd come on tonight and drop something. And just, I'm still kind of new to this thing. Not very popular YouTuber, but hey, I just decided this is kind of fun, and let me see myself talk, and just hopefully somebody will listen. But my name is James. Something to think about tonight. Watch the series about soul tithe, and the title is, and the experiences of going through soul tithe, and what is the experience of it, and what the meaning of it is, psychologically, spiritually, emotionally. And so if you take anything from this, is just stay committed, because if you don't stay committed, it can cost you physically, financially, emotionally, spiritually, and medically. Medically, it can go down to generations of your children, and it can go on there. So you really don't want to have too many partners. You don't want to have too many. If you're a man or a woman, to have so many, or vice versa, because it can affect you in some type of way. That's what I learned, and that's what I learned from. Basically, I learned this in church. Believe it or not, what I'm telling you now, I learned this in church. I learned this. This is some of the things that when people go to church, they go to the right church, they'll tell you these things. They should be able to tell you this is the reason why you should be in a committed relationship, because it affects you, it affects the people around you, and it affects your family. Who you associate with, who you lie in the bed with, and who you share your intimate time with. It could affect other things, your money. It can affect so many different aspects just by who you soul ties with. It can affect your money. Believe it or not, it could affect your job. It could affect just by it could keep you broke. How does it affect you financially? It can keep you broke. When you of your man, you dating a lot of these different women. Of course, it's gonna cost you money. It could cost you money because at some point you're gonna want to show some kind of splurgement with it. Secondly, on a physical aspect of it, the you dealing with if you deal with five different, say, 5, 7 different women, you're dealing with 5, 7 different personalities of a woman. So you're dealing with more with the person than what it really is. And what if this person, you hurt them and you wound them, and they come back at you and be be mischievous and devious and set you up and get you beat up or almost get you killed. So that's another thing you have to consider when you so tied with somebody, with more than one person. You don't know, somebody, you might damage the person, and some people might take, well, you not just played you and that's it. But that person, even though you think is okay, but that person can be on the verge of getting vengeance because you hurt them. And even though they felt this way to you, you didn't feel like that way towards them. So be careful who you soul tie with. And if a woman does that to a man, psychologically she did this. Well, he's easy, but the next man you do that thing, came off as easy, but might be psychotic. He might stalk you down and might beat you up or whatever and come after you. So it's not good. What I learned is if you don't give yourself like that, to give yourself to somebody who you both have a mutually, you truly love each other, and that's, you eliminate all that. But if you like this, those of you like this, I know a lot of people don't like it because they jumping off lines. It's kind of a lame video, but it's a truth. Sometimes it's good to speak some truth. Everything ain't always just entertainment, man. It's some truth out here, that some reality out here. You see people even with people that have mysterious videos of people dying and something like that. There's a sense of reality out there, and it's a sense of truth out there that I don't think people don't want to face out there. So a topic like soul tie can cost you is something to really think about. And so that's what made me do this video, just from personal experience. And so, but anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to get off here and maybe watch some other videos of some other people. And I'll probably definitely be working on some more videos in the future. My name is James Thomas, and I hope that maybe the next video that you might find might be kind of pleasing. Might really like it. Who knows? Maybe it won't be a bore, but I just maybe, and hopefully this video can be a blessing to somebody. It may not be the popularest video. It may be an unknown video, but if someone's going to get, if one person gets this message and understand what I'm coming about, then I think I accomplished everything that I've set it out to be. And that's what it's about. And I know I'm not going to be as popular as other people because I just deal with it. But I just, this would cause me to bring the subject tonight to it about soul ties and the title of it anyway. And hopefully some people like it, they like it. They don't, they don't. But it's something that it is rarely ever addressed on here. There's a lot of other things that's addressed on here, unless you on some other stuff. But so that's what made me come to the live stream tonight to talk about a topic about soul ties. And I hope that once this stream in, that you take at least hear it out. I know I'm kind of bumbling around in the video. I guess I'm a little bit tired, but it's just come across my mind. All right, then you all have a good night and good day wherever you at. Until next time, see you then.